Hello, my fellow YouTubers. This is Craig L. Smith II here with another edition of Let's Draw on Something. This is episode 36.1. Right, I am your host, Craig Smith II, born and raised in 773, relocated to the 901. Put up with a lot of hit and miss shit in 256, and now back in the 662. Y'all know how I do. Normally, I would say joining me would be my co-host Jimmy J Smooth for the Jimmy J Smooth Network, but Jimmy J's wrapped up doing some little being ready to make some big money moves in the 832, and y'all will definitely know how he do. So I'm just gonna be winging it by myself in this short little bit. Won't be long. Just gonna be giving my thoughts, and as the scriptures say, fan questions, my thoughts on the Kevin Garnett um situation. Well, it ain't a situation, just some comments he made. He let his ass overload his mouth once again about some things. The James Wiseman situation, I wasn't surprised. If I said earlier, fan questions and Tom Coughlin getting fired, which was no fucking surprise there. So, anyhow, let me say that Let's Draw on Something is brought to you in part by Trey Styles Custom and Designs, if you will. There's nothing he can't customize. Hit him up for your NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball, MLS soccer, and other needs. Also, for your family reunion, special occasions, whether it's baby showers or whatever, he makes. There's like I said, it's nothing can't customize. T-shirts, caps, aprons, oven mitts, name it, he can do it. And even mugs. Hit him up at 901-364-3698. That's 901-364-3698. So without further ado, let's see. The Tom Coughlin situation. I'm gonna go ahead and talk. Matter of fact, yeah, let's do go ahead and talk about the Tom Coughlin situation. Shout out to Corey Wolf because it was brought up to me this morning while I was at work that that the Jaguars let his ass go. Um, what the hell Jimmy hit me up on now? Um, that the Jacksonville Jaguars finally, and Shere Khan had Khan, whatever his I said Shere Khan, Jungle Book character. The owner Khan finally let his ass go. Jalen Ramsey, the former cornerback for the Jaguars, had alluded to this months ago about Tom Coughlin, and said that Coughlin has been fired for being the Grinch. Read official statements from Jag said it was revealed that 25% of the NFL Players Association grievances came from the Jaguars, and this source comes from Black Sports Online. And the author said that it was revealed that 25% of all NFL player grievances came from the Jaguars, and he gets the feeling the owner didn't know about that until it was reported. Almost all the players Coughlin fined were black and felt there was a twinge of racism with his actions. Even Jalen Ramsey implied it on his way out. No one is going to want to play in Jacksonville on those circumstances, so Coughlin had to go. Well, it was about time. I mean, I get Tom Coughlin. Tom Coughlin, good coach. Um, I'll just talk about his positives. He's a good coach. He fucked up a lot of things. He come from that Parcells tree. He's hard, old school to the fullest. Um, but this didn't surprise me at all. Because hell, it's a lot of racism going on. It's not just in NFL and the no fun league. In the NBA, the hockey league, baseball, shit, and even at your workplace. So it doesn't surprise me. Um, Coughlin always he always made me sick. Always talking about, hey, this ain't the '85 Bears you playing. Keep the keep he need to keep the fucking '85 Bears out his mouth. And his old guys are like that. He reminds you of the parent. He reminds you of the parent or the grandparent that just can't leave well enough alone. They just can't shut the fuck up. But yeah, it was no surprise. because he had a problem with Jalen Ramsey pulling up to training camp in an armored truck. I mean, a lot of people find it funny, but he didn't find it funny. You know, it's guys like him, they still stuck on the old age. And people like Coughlin and all these other guys, well, this is coaches or your supervisor at your job, or even your family member, they need to wake up. They need to wake up and realize this ain't the 50s, this ain't the 60s or the 70s. We're getting ready to go into the double 20s, 2020. Um, Times change, and you're expected to change with the times. And I have a lot. So again, it's no surprise about Jacksonville finally getting rid of his ass, and mainly the last straw I think was the thing about with Kaepernick, because Kaepernick want the Jacksonville Jaguar fans were clamoring for Kaepernick, and he had some little fuck shit to say about that. So I wouldn't put it, I wouldn't put it surprise him to go, to go all racist. I mean, you targeting all the black, you targeting all the black play, he targeting all the black players, but not finding the white players. Yeah, that is a little racial favoritism. If somebody like Blake Bortles were to piss from Blake Bortles and another player, Leonard Fournette, who he tried to run out, if they were both to piss from the top of a skyscraper, who you think he'll find? Fournette. And he looking right at Blake. But here's the thing, he looking at Blake Bortles doing the same thing. Who's my one viewer? Say something. Um, like I said, you got. Let me repeat my analysis. I got sidetracked. You got Blake Bortles and Gus Farrat. Wow, Leonard Fournette. Um, and they both stand on top of a building taking a piss. They both had to go real bad. And Tom Coughlin looking at these motherfuckers. So who you think he gonna find? Yeah, he gonna find Leonard Fournette and leave Bortles alone. So yeah, it was a lot of racism in that, and I'm glad Jalen requested to get on down to be traded and whatnot. And then we had what was that when Jalen the game when he set out when his girlfriend, I think his girlfriend fiance had gave birth to his daughter. He had a problem about that. You know, um, Coughlin was trying to run the Jaguar ship like it was a fucking military. This ain't the military no more, brother. You know, you got to, hey, if the man had to be out, and then he made a little fucked up remark about it too. Look it up. He made a little fucked up remark about that as well. So I'm like this here. If one of my players has to not show up for a game to attend to the birth of his child, I'm not gonna say no fuck up shit. I'm gonna say congratulations. But football is more important. No, I'm gonna say great. Hey, congratulations to one of my players, Jalen Ramsey. He's about to embark on his main journey, which is him being a father and a provider. That's what should have came out of Tom Coughlin's mouth. But no, Tom Coughlin being the old fuckhead that he is, he had to say some old fuckhead shit. So I'm glad he's gone. Good riddance. And I guess the Giants saw it that way too. Uh, the James Wiseman situation and Memphis, all the Memphis news stations has been making a big stink about it. And we got John Calipari to thank for that. So, thank you, fuck you, go to hell, John Calipari, for dry snitching on Penny. Just because you couldn't get all the guys he had, like James Wiseman and whoever else it is, and whoever else he had on there. It's been said that James Wiseman, despite him playing only 3 games, is gonna hire an agent and make himself pro. All I gotta say is, man, hey, you can't get mad with him. Memphis fans can't get mad with him. Get mad with the dude that who got his ass beat by Utah yesterday on their home court. Get mad at that, and I'm gonna call him for what he is. Get mad at that son, that slimy son of a bitch. You know, get mad at that motherfucker that's been paying y'all house note for years while he was the Memphis coach. That got Calipari written all over what he done. Uh, I don't blame Wiseman for going because the fact of the matter is the NCAA still pull some, you know, pull some fuck shit with Memphis where they had to pay some charity calls, and they still fucking suspended this man. You know, the NCAA, it really ain't about shit. They really are not about shit. I would think of an on the fly acronym right now for the NCAA. They call it the National Collegiate Athletic Association, which is bullshit. But and maybe my boy Jimmy J will chime on this because you know I kind of been out of loop on some things about with James Wiseman, but it was no surprise. And you bring it up, for the NCAA to bring up some shit from back in 2007. That just and from what my co-host had told me, that a newspaper in Owensboro, Kentucky, had reported the same fucking thing and had speculated, and it's bad that when a home state newspaper from another city, let alone from other cities, don't like Calipari, and they know this had his ass, this bullshit had Calipari written all over it. What does that fucking tell you? So I wouldn't be surprised if Calipari gets Kentucky on fucking probation. I would not be surprised. But mainly, Memphis would do well. And people like guys like who myself and Jimmy J Smooth don't particularly care too much for, Stephen A. Smith. I'm pretty sure Jimmy would be rooting for Stephen A. Smith to have a field day with this shit. Because Stephen A. was more disappointed about it. Dick Vitale and everybody else, they were more disappointed about this shit. You're gonna let them play 3 games, then you're gonna suspend them. So this really has Calipari written fucking all over it because he hasn't been talking with the media or nothing. But shit. I mean, 3 games. Hey, it was fun while it lasted for James. I think he realizing how full of shit the NCAA is, and he got to do what he got to do. So I be prepared for ESPN all fucking month long. What's this? December, January, February, March, April, May, June. For the next 6 months, be talking about, oh well, James Wiseman is projected number. He's the projected number 1 pick, the number 1 pick. I think he's going to be a star. You can't base him on being a star because he played 3 games. You can't. So I don't blame him. But my salute to James. Hey, you got to do what you got to do. But and it's it's sad, man, that a lot of shit has been fucked off. Memphis has been getting the fucking screw of the bat, the short end of the fucking stick. And speaking of Memphis, shout out to former Memphis coach Mike Norvell, who's now with Florida State. He landed one of his top recruits already. I'll have to describe Mike Norvell's season as captivating. Jimmy J and I, we talked about on the last show where what the type of coach that Florida State will be getting. And again, shout out to my boy Trey Murph because Murph, I'm finna tell you a little short ass something. I don't want you talking about some I don't like this coach, man. He passed too much. He don't run the ball enough. I don't like this coach, man. He run the ball too damn much, and he don't pass enough. I don't like defensive staff. I don't like Odell Higgins. I don't like this and that. Shut up. When the season starts, when Norvell do his thing, you and a lot of Florida State fans, Murphy, you my friend, but I got a right to tell you this. Shut your ass up when Norvell do his thing. And we told, and Jimmy J and I, we both told you what kind of coach that you get. You're getting a damn good offensive coach. Don't expect Florida State to be lighting up BCS style. They're going to start off slow. He's going to have a lot of work to do, especially with that offensive line. He brought in his defensive coordinator. He retained his defensive coordinator, and then when you got Odell Higgins working together, yeah, the defense is going to be straight. I'm not saying they're gonna dominate the ACC already that quick, but Norvell will be okay. Norvell will do y'all just right. Y'all just gonna have to just learn. Just Florida State fans, you especially, my boy. Shout out to my guy Murph. Shut the fuck up and be patient, and let Norvell do his thing. Now he's gonna have some moments where you just want to take your chair and throw it at the TV. Memphis fans will tell you that there was just some moments where you just wanted to run down to the coach's sideline and just choke the shit out of Norvell. I'm not wasn't a Memphis fan, but I got tired of him sticking to a script, a pre-planned script. There'll be times where he would have a team down 49-3, and then when you turn it off, and you look back, final score is 49-46. So shout out to Florida State's new Florida State coach Mike Norvell. We wish him well in the season. And the new head football coach, he was the offensive line coach. He's been promoted. And also, he was Mike Norvell's main recruiter. So I think he done brought in some 3 and 4 star recruits. I think Memphis will probably take a step back, probably about 2 or 3 losses this year, next season. But on both ends of the ball, it'll be okay. Both ends of the spectrum will be okay. Really, and the thing what Memphis need to do, if you want to keep your good coaches, stop being fucking cheap. Stop being cheap. Hold on a sec. All right. Also, Kevin Garnett. Nothing ever surprises me about Kevin Garnett. He recently said that Boston Celtics team in 2010 had basically ran LeBron out of Cleveland. And in some ways, Kevin Garnett is right. In some ways, now, and I'm not a fan of LeBron, and I've never been a fan of KG because he's a fake ass, wannabe tough, peanut headed ass tough guy. Who claims he's from Chicago, but let's face it, you were born and raised in South Carolina before you moved to Chicago. If you were a Chicago dude and claimed you was as tough as you were, you wouldn't be bagging up like a bitch on a lot of stuff. I'm saying like I'm calling like it is because Kevin Garnett, I don't take Kevin Garnett too seriously. I'd rather take Garfield the cat seriously than to take Kevin Garnett seriously. Because he's a fake, phony, tough guy. Garnett did not run LeBron out of Cleveland. Let's be real. LeBron ran LeBron out of Cleveland. Now, think about it, y'all. LeBron, with that team, he had a Mo Williams, Antoine Jameson, J.J. Hickson, Anderson Varejao, and a 37-year-old Shaq. In 2 back-to-back seasons, won 60 games. They went 60-22 in 2008, 2009. And in 2009, 2010, they went 62-20. Mike Brown was the coach of those teams, Mike Brown won Coach of the Year twice. The problem was, hey, look, everybody saying LeBron didn't have no help. I don't know what to say, on paper. True enough, LeBron didn't have no help, but I mean, but shit, they won over in 2 straight years that Mike Brown was Coach of the Year. Their asses was 122 and 22. No, 122 and 42. So LeBron must have did something. LeBron along the rest of them guys must have did something pretty fucking good. For him not to have no help, not efficient amount of help to win back-to-back 60 games. Now, as far as Kevin Garnett goes, Shannon Sharp said it best. Tim Duncan and ran his ass out of the Western Conference. Kobe and Shaq put his ass out in the 2004 Western Conference Finals. Punked him out. Dirk Nowitzki made him look fucking remedial. And then he can't say something about he wasn't superstar chase team. He went to fucking Boston. He was the first player to initiate a no trade clause from him. For him exclusive. To me, Kevin Garnett was nothing more than some overhyped project back in the 95 draft that had the opportunity to play with Ray Allen with the Timberwolves, but somehow the Timberwolves appeased him by maneuvering him over with Stephon Marbury. And I've had some opinions about Stephon Marbury, and I don't want to go there. Back then. So he can't say that's calling the kettle black, talking about that when he was on that 2010 Boston team ran LeBron out of town. No, LeBron ran LeBron out of town because of some little bullshit that went on in the locker room, and he found out about Delonte West was shooting ammunition in his mom. I'm being technical about it. Being technical, but being for real, it was an alleged rumor about Delonte West was dating his mom. Okay. Kevin Garnett lets his ass overload his mouth and along with his brain. Because he's full of shit on both ends. Garnett needs to look at himself in the mirror. Tim Duncan, Shaq and Kobe put his ass out in 2004. The following year, Tim Duncan put his ass out multiple occasions. Then Dirk Nowitzki put him out on several occasions. Then he tucked his tail between his legs, went to Boston, formed up a big three with him, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce. What's going on, Jimmy? Yeah, true enough. He talking about the Mike Norvell thing. He has Jeff Sims coming in. Most definitely. Yeah, I saw highlights of Jeff Sims. He's a perfect fit for that offense. Just got to improve his reads. Because in that Mike Norvell offense, yeah, you got to have arm, you got to have some legs, but you also got to have eyes. But then Garnett, like I said, he was the first player to initiate a no trade clause on him. So what happens? He goes to fucking Boston, forms up the big three of Paula Pierce and Ray Allen. They win only one fucking championship. One. What's up, Marcus? One damn championship. You got to be fucking kidding me. One championship with Paula Pierce and Ray Allen. And the only thing Kevin Garnett can do is just win one championship. So what LeBron do? He took his talents to South Beach, teamed up with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, who both took pay cuts. Pay cuts to get LeBron. And what happened? 2010, 2011. They knocked Boston's ass out. But they got their ass whooped by the same dude that put an ass whooping on Kevin Garnett so many years in the playoffs, Dirk Nowitzki. The 2011-2012 season. Who did they run into? Who did Miami run into? Boston. Kevin Garnett talked all that shit about what they were going to do, and they got their ass whooped. Oh, and by the way, and that's also the year that we all thought that the Indiana Pacers that had David West and the young Paul George and Jeff Teague and all them other cats, that squad was the better team than Miami that year. But anyway, and then the following year, the 2012-2013 season. And boy, let me refresh. And as much, and I know some Boston Celtics fans out there, and Jimmy McWright, we have commented on this. This was basically the series that Paul Pierce just basically just said, fuck this shit. But then in a losing damn effort, Paul Pierce decides to freaking show up, and Kevin Garnett no show. And they got their ass whipped by who? Who did KG get their ass whipped by again for three or four straight years? LeBron. Where was Kevin Garnett in that game? Nowhere. Then all of a sudden they went to Brooklyn. They decided. Kevin Garnett said, "I decided I'm screw this. I can't be LeBron. I'm in Boston. I'm gonna go to Brooklyn." As didn't do shit in Brooklyn, but just start fights with teammates and every fucking way else. And if I was Kevin Garnett's teammate, and if he had to grab my sketch pad and threw it in, and ran some water in it and threw it in the fucking garbage, or took my cell phone and threw it up against the wall and broke it, and they're gonna tell me not to get it, I would have beat his little punk ass, cone headed, skinny ass. And he claimed he from Chicago. Fuck the fact he went to Farragut High School. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck where he went. Kevin Garnett is not tough. If you claim you from Chicago, you got to be born and raised. You got to be born and raised in Chicago to claim that you tough. I don't see nothing tough about Kevin Garnett. Period. But for him to say that shit about he ran LeBron, that Boston team ran LeBron out of town, man, get the fuck out of here. I wish Jimmy J Smooth was on. This would have been a good ass segment for Jimmy Takes the Wheel. Brick of LeBron. Uh, it depends. One guy in the undisputed comment called LeBron LaFraud. He's a fraud, but I really don't know. LeBron, LeCon, LaFraud, whatever. But ever since LeBron went to Miami, Kevin Garnett was 0-4 in the playoffs against LeBron. Oh yeah. In 30, and keep it, you see what the episode number this is, Jimmy, 36.2. Because yes, Jimmy J Smooth in a future episode, I said 36.2. In 36.2, Jimmy J Smooth is going to take the wheel on Kevin Garnett for saying some more dumbass shit like that. That's why his ass finna get take. That's why his ass finna get take to the bank. Peanut head ass, peanut head ass. Then he gonna nickname his child Peanut. The phony ass Area 51 fake phony tough guy. Take your ass on with that goddamn shit. Let me see what we got in here in this chat. Again, uh Marcus Johnson salute. Garnett came and seen yeah, true. And yes, he's gonna get clowned, Jimmy. He's gonna get clowned by you. Okay, got some little fan questions here. And let's start with this first one. This first one comes from, if I can pull it up, I gotta get my email here together. Shoot, do. Let me pull it up here. Even. As Mercy, let me pull it up here and shit even. Damn. Damn, even Byron Jones, don't know where he's from, wants to know, are the 49ers currently the best team in NFC? Well, after that shit they pulled Sunday, I don't know. On paper, they the best. But after that bullshit they pulled Sunday by basically giving after they basically gave Atlanta that fucking win, the jury is out on them. Sure enough, but are they a good team? No. But to be honest with you, no, they're not. Jimmy Garoppolo, he's still making piss poor decisions and he still misses open receivers. Okay, they miss extra points, they allow safety. Yeah. Okay. But on the other hand, I was bullshitting. But on the other hand, they made a good Panthers defense look silly. Clearly, right now, the 49ers are the best team in the NFC right now, and they are at least the equal of the New England Patriots. But if they were to play each other on a neutral site, it's a toss-up. Now, if they were to play Baltimore, you already know Baltimore will win that. So, um, like I said, the jury is still out on them as of right now. Because they beat the Saints. They beat the Saints head to head. They still got the Seahawks, who is the number one seed right now. And if the season was to end today, the 49ers will be playing Dallas in the wild card, and the Saints will be playing Minnesota, while Green Bay and Seattle will be having a first round bye. Why? And also, probably another thing, some fans are probably looking at it like this: well, why are the Saints below Green Bay? It's simple. Green Bay and Seattle has a better conference record than New Orleans. Now, if New Orleans had a better conference record than anybody, yeah, New Orleans will still be number one. So, it is what it is. So clearly right now, the 49ers, they are the best team in the NFC right now, but the jury is out on them. But after Sunday, after that fuck shit they goddamn pulled, I don't know. Might want to put an asterisk on the best team right now. Jaquin from Memphis, Tennessee, wants to know. Said, hello, Craig. Said I went back and listened to your co-host's podcast, Jim McWright, from all the shows that you have been on as his co-host, and was telling stories about your old job at FedEx and also about the military. I wanted to know something about the former. You had mentioned back at FedEx on one of the shows that you had a fan in regards to a fan question, which you was asked, did you settle grudge with an employee? I will be working at FedEx. Get it right. Excuse me. I'm reading how he worded. I'm rephrasing it. He said I will be working, but I guess he's saying he's currently working at FedEx. I'm currently working FedEx right now in a national hub, and I saw the guy by the name of David that you were talking about. I want to know, what was it like working with him, and have you guys patched up that, and have you guys officially patched up your grudge? Well, second question first, Jaquin. Yes, we're David and I, we're tight now. We're pretty cool. Refresh everybody's memory. He and I had a little professional. I had a PNP beef with him that was burning me for years till I finally decided to talk to him. And when I did talk to him last year, I kind of felt something off my back. It's just like, like something was just lifted off my back, like a monkey, but it felt like a whole lot of weight was coming off of my back when I finally settled and found out where he was standing around about that time. And Jimmy can vouch for this. Um, when I said about the fact that I have more respect for a real man and a real woman to admit about their faults towards others when when they acknowledge that they don't see, when they acknowledge the faults they have that other people see. Um and he earns a shitload of my respect for that. I mean, and Jimmy doesn't know him. He Jimmy don't even know the guy, and Jimmy he gets Jimmy's respect from that for that as well. See, that's what you see, Jaquin. That's what you call a real G. Dave is a real G. But what was it like working with him? I'm gonna do it on a point. I'm gonna do it on a scale of 1 to 5. Um, I'll say a 4. Um, he had his moments. At times he didn't. There were times where he really didn't want to be a good leader. But there were, like I said, there were times where he did want to be a good leader. But he was. Now he was with some fuck shit for a while back, and here was the thing why I was really mad with him about. When I got fired back in 2008, um, he confided to me. He told me this years later. When I was fired in 2008, he told the manager at the time by the name of Julie. That wasn't he wasn't a fan of how that went down. And he in so many words, he read her the riot act in so many words. You know, because I didn't know he spoke up about it. While some of his other peers, who I'm gonna kind of grade and clown in a second on point scale, and tell you how it is. They were all for it. Some of them just say, "Well, that's just business." No, it's not just business when you fucking fire me over some fucking bullshit. You don't do it the right way. And I again say he wasn't a fan of that, but um, sometimes David brought the best out of some of his rampages he worked with. He worked with, but the rampages he did work with brought out the worst out of themselves. Shout out to my pops friend Tracy Hamilton, and shout out to one Zach Cook. They were two perfect examples. When I watched how he worked with them, um, with Tracy, you couldn't tell whether she was hot or cold, if she wanted to stop or go, or whether she was coming or going. I voiced my opinion about Zach on a revision of a question where I said that the dude couldn't, that at that time, I couldn't trust Zant. I couldn't trust Zach to lead ants to a sugar hill. So when he worked with them on a scale of 1 to 5, I give it a 2, because they basically just, it was just like, uh, like who's zooming who you need to listen to, playing favorites and stuff like that. It was like who you need to listen to. So after Tracy had left to the West Coast, it was just him and Zach. Now, I'll say this. I seen David launch a flight and run a slide at the same time when it was just him by himself. There were many nights when I used to work day shift, there were times I would see shit like when I'd be coming in at 7 o'clock. David's ass would be the last one leaving. Be like, damn. And he would tell me, like rough night. Normally he was the kind of guy, he's the first one there, and normally most of the time he's the last one to leave. But when he's not there, other rampages that be under him will run with their chicken, run like chickens with their heads cut off. Um, like I said, when Tracy left and when it was just him and Zach, it was it was like my zodiac. It's like my zodiac sign logo, the scales. you know if they would sometime them two, David and Zach, didn't balance out with each other. It was just like you know, and I didn't like that. You know, like when you listen to one person and then like something I did, David wanted me to do one thing, and Zach turned around and wanted to tell me to do something else. Then when I would tell him, hey, Dave wanted me to do this and that, he's like, well, I don't care about that. Then David would get pissed off with me. I'm like, whoa, talk to him. You know. Now there were times I did have to one time I had to G check David. I had to tell him, hey man, look, don't cuss at me. Cause I was telling him something about, something about, hey, we had a tug issue talking about, hey, he said, man, right now, fuck the tug. I said, no, right now, fuck what you saying and fuck how you talking to me. Cause you ain't gonna stand up, because I'm not gonna stand up here and let you talk to me like that. I don't care what you is. And I let him know, don't talk. And then he wanted to talk over, and then I got loud with him and he walked off. I said, man, don't talk to me like that. Bottom line. And he walked off. He knew he was wrong, you know. But I'm gonna tell you something. But unlike Zach, who will be petty and not say shit to your ass, David came up to me like a man and said, "Hey, hey, I apologize. Hey, I apologize for what happened yesterday. That was the other night. That wasn't me. See, because if you didn't see what was trending with Whoopi Goldberg and Megan McCain off the View, I was more like Whoopi. Okay, when she put Megan, and let me fill everybody in. That was trending all on Twitter back. What's this, Thursday? That was trending on Twitter, I think either Monday or Tuesday. When Whoopi Goldberg had to put Megan McCain in her place. And you know what I said about like with Zach, with him being unprofessional, rude. Zach was more like fucking Megan McCain. He'll sometimes feel he didn't need to have to talk to you. Now there was a point in time that David was like that, but he kind of mellowed out some through the years. But anyway, um, then later through the years, I think after Zach left for the Mega Green Hub pastures of full-time pastures of Dayside, and not to mention, um, his wife's safety was concerned because he, I said it before on the previous show, he his old lady, somebody tried to break in on his old lady, and that's an understandable thing too. So David got stuck with this little guy, this little short dude here who had a fucking a Napoleon complex that'll make Napoleon look second rate, by the name of Neil King, and another dude named Joseph. Now, out of them three he worked with, Joseph was the only one that balanced David out. Neil wasn't about shit. I'm gonna get on to him in a minute. So with working with David at that time with them two, it was a 2. From a scale of 1 to 5, it was a 2. Because there were some moments David knew better, and we talked about that privately, and he admitted that there were some moments that he really knew better, and he needed to have a come to and there were times he felt he needed to have a come to Jesus meeting. So, and it's understandable when you working with a bitch flight like Flight 55 Miami. Yeah, they're demanding, they are demanding and entitled. So, but I felt out them three that he worked with Neil and Joseph balanced him out. Neil's a motherfucker with himself. Um, he didn't want to answer your questions. He felt the need to talk to you. And he stays snitching on your ass. Somebody doing this. Like, he snitched on me one time. I was shagging cans, and he went back. And I'm gonna tell you the story, Jaquin and everybody. Jimmy J, if you still watching, and Marcus, if you're still on, hit me up and thumbs up or say something in the chat. And I told the story on Jimmy J's podcast on the network. Neil went back and snitched one time to one of my old managers, saying that I was at the DG building asleep waiting on cans when I was actually fucking reading. So my manager pulled up. He said, "Were you out here asleep?" I was like, "No, man, I'm out here." He said, "Man, I'm out here reading." He said, "Well, they said something about somebody wanted." And when he told me and when he said, "Well, one of the rampages at International had called and said you was asleep," I said, "Well, let me guess, was?" And when he slipped and said it was Neil, I was like, I said, "Man, you know what? Fuck him." I said, Neil need to learn to mind his fucking damn business. I said, if I was asleep, you would have pulled up on me. He said, "Yeah, you out here reading, waiting on cans." He said, I know what you be doing. He said, "Now if you was asleep, I would have told you, hey, clock out and go home." So, like I said, Neil was a motherfucker with himself. And I guess Neil's energy had rubbed off on David a little bit, because there was a point in time David became a emphasis on the word motherfucker with himself too. And I won't go into detail about that because I don't want to open up old wounds. But Neil was a straight motherfucker with himself. He was snitch on my ass, snitch on folks for a whole lot of things. Shout out to Reggie Watkins. And by the way, Reggie, don't take this the wrong way. He kissed your ass a whole bunch, and that what made you get the rampage position. And I kind of, and I kind of felt I was the right guy for the job for that, but not in that area, because um I felt Reg, I like him. Reg was elevated real quick. Went from material handler to team lead, and all of a sudden rampage and that quick in a fucking week. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, damn. I said, well, I'm like, so, and I can't say how I felt about that, but well, fuck it, it's my show. At that point in time, I felt like, well, damn, how much ass did they had to kiss up to him in order so he can get that rampage spot? You know, but but and then, but I didn't work with David when he had Neil and Reggie there. And I'll say I was just glad to get the fuck away from that area, because it was a toxic area to begin with, that where Dave was currently working at now. So I don't have no bad things to say about David now. But on the good hand, on a scale, like I said, on a scale of 1 to when you divide it out, 4 plus 2 is 6. Dividing the 2 is 3. I give it a 3.5, but I'll do him a solid. I give, work with David on a scale of 1 to 5. I'll give him a 4. Nothing bad. And shout out to my boy David Snipes and uh Miss Snipes. If you hear this, that doesn't mean you unfriend me on Facebook. This is just a compliment that I'm giving David B. Now here's one compliment. Here's one comment that I am going to make. David, man, don't plan on being 65 years old, being the oldest damn rampaging out there, dude. Go ahead and retire. Enjoy life. If you ever saw what happened to Captain America at Civil War, take that Tony Stark advice he told Captain America. Get out and enjoy some of that life. Shoot, you've been out shit. You started FedEx when I was in the fourth, going on to the fifth grade, and so forth. 1988. Shit. Retire. Enjoy life. Enjoy yourself. Take shit. Get away from that, man. Go back to teaching. And from what is speaking of that, and back to what Jacqueline said, I've heard David is a hell of a good teacher because he taught business. So if I was him, I would shit retire from FedEx and do teaching. Because from what I've heard, I don't know if he still does it or not, but from what I was hearing, he taught business at I think Christian Brothers or U of M or something like that. No, Jimmy, man, that's fucked up too. No, Jimmy, no. Let me feel you reacquaint you, man. From what David had told me, he started FedEx when he had turned when he was 18 going on 19. So that's back in 88. So he's a Leo. He was born in the Leo month of August. So I don't know when it's actually. I'm not gonna give out too much personal information. So what that tell you? Now it is somebody that work in the fucking corporate or the office that's been there for fucking 44 years that whose ass need to retire. Pretty much. Pretty much. So I mean when he said I told Jimmy, I told the story about him, man. He started out there in 88, and I think he said about a year or so, 6 months to a year or so later, they were asking people if they wanted to learn be a ramp agent. So who? Wanda Halbert. I don't know no Wanda Halbert. No, it was the oh Lord. I don't know who this Wanda Halbert is, but Jimmy is professing his love for Wanda, Miss Wanda Halbert. So shout out to Wanda Halbert. Jimmy loves you, darling. Or as Austin Powers say, who Jimmy loves you, baby. Well, no, man. No, Joe Quinn. I give work with David, man. Like I say, I give it a 4. Because I give I give him his props despite the negatives that he had when I worked with him. Um, I give him his props. You know, excuse me, y'all. But yeah, but about our grudge though, since you did mention it, I mean, I patched it up with him, and again, shit, he confided some things. I mean, when I told him about, he was saying about Happy Father's Day, I was like, yeah, thanks. I said, but I'm about to get a divorce. He was like, whoa, what? Yeah, and I didn't, he was like, whoa, what happened? Not I told him everything what happened, and he told me, he said, damn, sorry, sorry to hear that, man, and then he really apologized to me about not attending Pop's funeral. And he did say he did hear through the grapevine, and I know who told it. Um, that I wasn't too I wasn't a fan of his. That the fact that he didn't show up, you know. But it was just bygones. We let bygones be got bygones. But the point that won me over was the fact that when he admits that he has some faults he has to work on, like acknowledging his peers that put him over. And I even told him that. I said, well, David, I said, well, yeah, you gotta think about who want to talk. You gotta think about who's helping you teach you, who's helping you along the way with a new dance, you know? And he said, yeah, that's true. And he said, one guy on the side, he said, I've been working on your slide for almost 6 months. And he said, and this is the first time you ever spoke to me. So, he's he's more, and he knows he's working on and if by the time he hears this, I know he's working on it, because there are some dickhead rampages out there that don't wish to acknowledge people that help put them over. They feel like, well, I make 18, 19, 20, $30 an hour. I don't feel the need to speak to you. No, we're the ones making your job look good by getting the flights out on time. So yeah, I mean, I can't say for the same for the other ones that used to work out there now. And for the record, again, shout out to Reggie, because Reggie drives trucks now, and Neil Queenby is a chef. And I mean, somewhere, like I said, don't know what Joe is, don't know what Joseph's at. Um, Zach, he like I said, explained in a live stream several weeks ago. Found out that Zach, he had a nice little cup of coffee in Florida. He was there for about 3 to 4 years in Florida, and moved back to Memphis, and now he's back at the Memphis Hub as a ramp agent. Bless his heart. And Tracy, that's Pop's friend. She's in the wet. She's living. She's doing the big in Cali. So yeah, I mean, yeah, and if they all listening, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays to y'all and y'all family. Uh, Jimmy professing his love for this for Miss Wanda. Let me see what here's a damn good question. Why don't NFL teams concede when they're way behind with a few minutes left instead of going through the motions and wasting time? Like when a team is down 40 points with a minute left, why don't they just save everyone some time? Good question. Whoever asked, let me see who asked this. Christopher. Christopher Saleo. That's a damn good question. And I'm pretty sure Jimmy, if he was on here, boy, Jimmy will love this question. Uh, well, number one, the National Football League is now the football version of WWE. It's sports entertainment. It people, the personnel. Let's be honest, the personnel in the NFL, the players, coaches, players, every other coach, players, refs, people talking their shit in the booth, and everybody else. They, whatever. They get paid to play, they pay to officiate, and administer the game, vice versa. It is us, the customers, that pay for the whole deal. And yeah, the customer has the right to be upset to learn they've been cheated out of they've been cheated out of it, other game that they had already stopped paying attention to. And they'll ask, "Oh, what's the final score?" Okay, Jimmy says she's a councilwoman and worked for formerly Memphis City Schools. Okay, but back to the question. They the fans had already stopped paying attention to the damn game. So you know, but you got fantasy football. But I'm not defeating you, but Chris, I ain't defeating your question. I mean, it's all about sports. It's all about sports entertainment. That's what the NFL is all about. Basically, that's what with the exception of hockey, the NBA and NHL have become sport, and they went from being a straight gangster ass league on both ends to being sports entertainment leagues. Like my guy Trey, my shout out to him again. Trey Murph said, NBA is not as fun. It's not as fun to watch like it used to. It's not. NFL ain't as fun as to watch. I studied. And me being a college football fan and a football fan in general, because I'm learning the game as far as the basics, the plays, and whatnot. College football is starting to become that too. I equate college football as being nothing but a developmental territory for the NFL, like in wrestling. It ain't nothing but college football with all the different college teams. It's nothing but a developmental territory. So for the NFL. So to answer your question, Chris, shit, it's sports entertainment. That's entertainment. Shit. If I was you, I'd be feeling the same way myself. What else here? Let's see. We got one more. Trying to find this one more. Scooting down with my. Okay. My bad. My headset came off. Sorry, y'all. Uh, why has see the question here, and I've answered it on Jimmy J's show. Why has LSU's Joe Burrow been so successful? Two words: Joe Brady. He is currently the passing game coordinator. Well, I said quarterbacks coach, but I looked it up. He's the wide receivers coach for LSU. A little bit of background on Joe Brady. He came from New Orleans Saints coaching staff and was the QB coach under Sean Payton. Ed Orgeron, Jimmy's favorite coach, hired him after the 2018 season, not only assist current offensive coordinator Steve Ensminger, but to get the LSU's offense with the times today. The offense that Ed Orgeron tried to run with Matt Canada in 2017 was nothing more than a failed experiment. There's too much motion and no quarterback development. Meaning it was a good offense, but when you got a quarterback like Danny Check Down Edlin, your offense isn't gonna fucking thrive. And plus, Matt Canada let his mouth overload his ass about his pay. So that's why Ensminger was promoted from tight ends coach to offensive coordinator. And then you got Joe Brady as the passing game coordinator slash wide receivers coach. And that's why Joe Burrow was, when you look at his stats, damn near 80%. That's a fucking school record and an SEC record. 80% of his passes were completed. Now, if Burrow leaves, that's gonna be a fucking tough act to fucking follow. Because I think the next quarterback probably only gonna complete 50 to 60% of his passes. And I don't mean to say it. Orgeron better have a guy like Justin Fields slinging that thing next season. Because if he get a fuck shit quarterback next year, LSU ain't gonna win no LSU ain't gonna win no championship next year, and Brady will probably be gone next year. So that's why Joe Brady. I mean Joe Brady. That's why Burrow has been successful. Joe Brady, passing game offense, and then when you got Ensminger with his offensive scheme, along with Brady being the passing game coordinator for that offense, telling them what to do, calling, also doing the shots as well. Yeah, I would I would love to have a quarterback that then complete 80% of his passes, record the most touchdowns in school history, and best completion percentage in conference and school history, and all that. I wouldn't mind having a passing game coordinator on my staff like that. And if I was LSU, two words: pay him. Enough said. So, other than that, that's about it on the. Let me see if I got some more questions here. I'm just scrolling through my emails. Hmm. I'm trying to find some coaches. I'm trying to find some questions here. Oh, here's a good one. Ended off on this note. This question is by Daniel Cote. He wants to know, why are there no women in the NFL? Hmm. The real question is, why haven't we integrated women into the sport, into either sport, to compete with one another? That's the real question. But really, to answer your question, Daniel, it's a matter of, do women have the interest, the conditioning, and I'm saying that with a smile on my face, because there are some very physically conditioned women out there, and I'm a man that loves a very conditioned and fit woman. But anyway, women got to have, the question about it is, do the women have interest, the conditioning, and the talent that's good enough to make it on the roster, on any roster? Uh, Shit. Are they capable women that can be a lineman? I mean, because they face it, there are women coaches out there. I mean, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers got a woman defensive line coach. Look it up. I even have a guy, Jimmy J. Smooth, look it up. With Bruce Arians, damn, they got 30 people on his staff. One of them, I think, one of them is a woman, and she's a defensive line coach. She thick as a motherfucker too. Look it up, Jimmy. But if they want to be a lineman, whether it's offensive, defensive lineman, or wide receiver, running back, or a kicker, hell, put them under center. You know, here's another reason, and also I cite some other reasons: sexism, which is the main one, concussion, CTE, a risk of injury. A player tackles a woman real hard or whatnot, knock her on the ass. Not only she gets CTE, but she want, but her and her boyfriend or her husband or her man for the evening, uh, slip the goods in her one night, and she can't get pregnant. You got to factor in the risk of injury, and also, would us fans be interested? Will we be interested? Would the average NFL fan care? That's for one thing. Most of them see it. Most of them are acquainted to seeing the cheerleaders, and that's really how they feel, because the fans are rather the only type of women that need to be on the. It's an old analogy about when women were put on this earth to cook dinner and make babies. To the NFL fan, a woman's supposed to be only on the football field just to be dolled up, looking like a cheerleader, getting paid minimum wage. So that's how it is. So that's the reason that Daniel. That's the very reason. Jimmy said, "No, thank you. I prefer the lingerie league." Agreed. Jimmy, what you agree with me on? But but Daniel, you got to factor in all the factors too, man. Uh, and also, I'm gonna throw in a little throwback for you. Watch the movie G.I. Jane. Okay, watch the movie G.I. Jane with Demi Moore. Damn good movie. It's based on a true story. A Michael Mann movie, by the way. And anything Michael Mann does, uh, anything Michael Mann does, whether it's G.I. Jane, Heat, Collateral, Miami Vice, or whatnot, that he directs or writes or whatever, it's gonna be fucking good. But um, Daniel, you got to factor in the sexism and the fan interest of all that. Now, I think that has happened before in football with the University of Colorado when they had a a, a female kicker on the squad that basically led the Big fucking 12 in field goal percentage. Let's see, them getting hit. Look at MMA. It's women in the UFC that has brain issue. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Uh, but Daniel, like I was saying, for I got sidetracked with Jimmy's question. Look up Google Colorado University of Colorado women's football player. you're gonna be surprised what you read about it because they were in the news for a whole. They were in the news. I think this was back like in the early mid to mid late two, yeah, early mid to mid late 2000s about the shit that went on up there with that female player. And see, that's another reason the groping, and then and then in that locker room, you got a lot of guys walking. You got a lot of horny guys walking around and got they got testosterone issues. That's just waiting to put that's just waiting to pump the gas. I'm being technical. Just waiting to pump the gas with the female, and then first thing what she's gonna do, she's gonna cry rape. That's another issue you have to worry about. So other than that, I mean, you have to factor in all that stuff there as to why there are no women in modern sports. But other than that, man, I see we got Jimmy J on here, who'll be joining us hopefully either Saturday or Sunday. Because let me go ahead and spoil it. Jimmy J is going to take the wheel on this Kevin Garnett thing, um, and along with some other takes. And also, I'm going to plug his show probably one weekend next month. Jimmy J will, as I did with Jimmy J, with him interviewing his escape to Texas. Jimmy McWright is going to be interviewing his co-host me about my life, my life in the military. But I was trying to think of something else I could call it. My life in the killer world in the military, which is going to be very interesting. So if people looking for stories, like party stories and stuff like that, no. So so hopefully, Jimmy's gonna come with the unfiltered questions. He's gonna come up with some good ones because he and I, there were some things that I told him about what like went on in the military, like on my end and what's going on right now, and I'll share them with you all in that interview that he's gonna conduct with me. But other than that, man, I hope y'all enjoyed the show. Sorry I didn't get a chance to answer everybody's questions. I'm gonna go in here and feed my face, write do these little Christmas cards at the last minute for moms right quick and put them on on everybody's door and stuff like that, or walk up to the post office and mail them. But other than that, and after I do that, I'm gonna chill out for a while before I get ready to go to bed at 10 o'clock because I'm gonna be working tomorrow. Put me some extra hours tomorrow to account for a day I missed this week at my job. So other than that, I thank Marcus Johnson and Jimmy J for joining me on the live stream. And with that note, once again, it's Craig Smith II with another episode of Let's Draw on Something in the Books. And I'm out.